Well, hello. Oh, that appears to be a little bit loud. Back that mic up. It's been a while since we've been together. This is going to be, as you can tell, as much a tech check as anything else. I'm going to try and turn this mic down a little bit. Looks like it's still a little hot. Um, yeah, obviously, it's been a couple of months, and one of the reasons I haven't been streaming is because I moved where I was working from my kitchen, which is very convenient to stream from, into my office, which is great that I got my kitchen back, but not very convenient to stream from. I can't really give you a tour because obviously I'm in green screen mode, but I promise you that this green screen is like literally right here in a very inconvenient place, like sitting in the middle of the room. It's not the best arrangement. Um, Camera probably looks different. I'm using a different camera. Trying to deal with lighting issues. The Brio was just doing a terrible job. C930 is doing okay. Got a bit of a different view of me. Should be taller now than before. We'll see how this works out. Anyway, enough on tech nonsense. Let's hop in and start doing our review because it's been just way too long. Discussions is where we'll start. First thing I'm going to notice is it's kind of a sad for me to say this because I work at GitHub, but I just now noticed I don't use discussions very much except for this. It looks like the discussions where maybe I've already interacted with them and there have been no changes are these ones that are gray as opposed to black. I don't know. We'll kind of see. I think I really need to open all of these to make sure, but there's this one in the middle here that's gray. I guess we'll see what's going on here. So let me just middle click open all these guys. This is a lot of discussion since it's been a couple of months. I really haven't been keeping up very well. Okay, can't upgrade from 1x to 2x in mixed code project. This version makes you into a mixed project with CLR. So this is a can't upgrade from version 1x. Couldn't install XUnit assert 241. Try to install this packaging project towards native. Package does not contain any assembly references. Yeah, what to do with it? Yeah, I don't know that I can be much help here. There's officially been a supported thing for us. It would appear that whatever compiler you're using for native does not support net standard libraries. In theory, this should be. Let's go look at this on NuGet to make sure I'm not lying about this. Packages, XUnit assert. It's both Net Framework and Net Standard. Dependencies, what I need is an old version here though. I need 192. Which probably have installed, but I honestly don't remember what the dependencies were for 192. I'm sure they were probably just Net Framework. Probably weren't even listed. XUnit 192. Yeah. Anchor, great to see you back streaming. Almost thought you gave up. I kind of did, but I didn't. I mean, I didn't really give up on streaming. I just all the shifting around and just a lot of stuff going on in my life. I just needed a little bit of time off. All right, so there's no target frameworks listed here in this at all. My guess, if I go look at 2.0, 2.0 core, 2.0 extensibility core. Yeah, we're going to be in this sort of same bucket of, I think, no dependencies listed. This must be PCLs. This must have been a, yeah, profile 259. So let's see. Can you try upgrading from 192 to 2.0.0 and see what happens? At least from 2.0.0, which was a profile 259 portable class library solution. 241, which uses the newer standard targets. It'd be interesting to know what kind of support might be missing from the native compiler toolchain. Which version of Visual Studio are you using? And my apology that this took me 2 months to get to this question. Sorry. All right. Consuming a NuGet package, native libraries, and Xunion project. Okay. Try to consume our NuGet native C libraries. Xunion test has created an SDK CS proj net 452. NuGet doesn't handle native libraries, and as a result, tests fail. Maybe an Xunion problem because this happens only with a test project. Only for .NET Framework. So if I make the same test with console application, regardless of test framework, everything works correctly, same correct handling. Behavior is not dependent on a shadow copy. Create next unit app and SDK. Consume MongoDB driver. Try to run this test. Try to fix the additional applying of properties. Didn't help. Yeah, I mean, this is obviously similar in that we have some native code here. I'm curious if this works in 3.0. Because of the way we're writing standalone applications, does this just kind of work now in 3.0? I'm gonna leave this one open and come back to this. I don't know if we'll do it on stream, but I don't want to lose the momentum here. Okay. Run tests serially between assemblies. I have read documents, tried using Parallels, said it doesn't work in neither .NET Test nor Visual Studio. Unfortunately, this is because .NET Test and Visual Studio, both of which are using VS Test, the VS Test runner system, don't obey our settings. This is really a question of how to disable parallelism with VS Test and not with Xunit.net, unfortunately. So you're probably better off asking the question over there. And VS Test is Microsoft VS Test. Yeah, okay. Microsoft VS Test. Okay. What do you think about NuGet.org? No. Equivalent to before after test attribute in V2. It does exist in V2. And, X unit, X unit. V2. It does exist in V2. Yeah. Outputting results from assembly runner into an XML file. Bit of an way, it's the only way to properly run tests. Virtual. Real tests involve me opening program, creating test files. Okay. Assembly runner. Well, this works perfectly. I'll put my test console. I can't for the life of me figure out how to pipe these test results into XML for build pipelines. Okay. Okay, so this is the this is the one I think it was gray. Yep. Which meant that I had at least looked at it once. Unfortunately, why am I delayed? Answer. V3 work doesn't have a fixed schedule, as it's a weekend side project for me. So I can't provide a date until we get closer. Okay. Same requirement. Blah, blah, blah. Yep. Okay. Custom code before any test class gets instantiated. Before any test class gets instantiated. In V2, there's nothing built in. But you can use this third-party package to get an assembly level before after test attribute, which will run before any tests and after all tests are done. Assembly, I forget what this is called. This is like a xunit.assembly something. Assembly fixture. Oh yeah, it's a fixture. Right. Assembly level fixtures. Which would allow you to run code before any tests run and after all tests have finished. This is planned for V3. Planned to be built into V3. I feel like it already is. Alright. Yeah, okay. Assembly fixture. It's on the list. Assembly level support for before after attributes. Before after test attribute. Through the use of assembly level for after test attribute. Okay. Cloud performance, strange results. All those settings to attempt to improve performance. net452. Here's the repo. Unit tests are run with .NET Test. Total runtime by the time displayed in my command line prompt before and after executing tests. This consists of 3 projects. Let's see. B. VS test does not respect our parallelized assembly configuration value, so it's always parallelizing assemblies. That's why number 2 and number 3 are the same. You should see different results if you used our console runner instead. Which actually, we can clone his project and verify that that's actually true. Repro. XUnit demo. Okay, let's see. .NET build. Got to be in the project with the solution file. Wow. I thought .NET build automatically did restore. Nothing to do. None of the projects specified contain restore. That's not good. That means these aren't SDK style. MS build T restore. MS build. Alright, well. You're getting popped into Visual Studio because I literally do not remember how to do command line restores anymore. Probably NuGet restore. Alright, because we're going to find that these are packages config. Yep. Exactly what I was worried about. So it's interesting that able to .NET test with these things. I find that very fascinating. I mean, there's Runner Studio, which I guess is half of what you need, right? Okay, so test. Parallelized assembly false, parallelized test collection true. Parallelized assembly, parallelized test collection true. Alright, so let's do it this way. We'll say cat copy full path. Alright, okay. We're going to need the console runner, which probably does not have here, right? Yeah, did bring in a console runner. Packages. Actually, packages. Packages, XUnit runner, console. Tools. Net 452, right? Yeah, net 452. Okay. Demo project, main tests, bin debug. Main tests. Demo project, main tests 2, bin debug. Main tests 2. First thing we'll do is we'll make sure that these things run. Okay. That actually seems entirely reasonable because we see discovering, discovered, starting, finished. They clearly did not get parallelized, right? Rectangular snip. So let's go here. Alright, here is with parallel test collections on. So here are my results for number 2 for scenario 2 with the console runner. And then come back in here and turn these back on. I need to rebuild so that I get fresh copies. Okay. Pretty much exactly what I expected. Okay. Back over here. And here are my results for scenario 3. As you can see in the summary, you can see two big differences. In scenario 2, we wait for the first project to finish before starting the second project. In scenario 3, you can see we discover and run both in parallel. The clock time, shown in parentheses, for scenario 2 is 30 seconds, but for scenario 3, it's 20 seconds because of the parallelism. So that's for B. What was A? In the first case, I would expect the duration to be at least 40 seconds. Each of my tests does a thread sleep for 10 seconds. How can it be only 35:36? Okay. Then let's do false for both. Nobody asked you to... Fine. Whatever. Desperately trying to reformat things. Okay. Let's go take a look at that. Separate collections. I assume these are all the thread sleep 10s. Okay. Nope. Okay. So let's go back here. I think in all cases, you're running afoul the fact that VS test does not obey our parallelized assembly request and runs your assemblies in parallel always. There may be a VS test specific way to disable this, but I don't know what it is off the top of my head. So here's using the Axionit.net console runner. Here is my result for scenario 1. As you can see, 40 seconds. Exactly what we expected. Here are my results for scenario 2. Note, assemblies are still not being parallelized, but test collections are. So we get the expected 30-second result. Here are my results for scenario 3. Now with the assemblies being parallelized, we record 30 seconds of runtime, but also show 20 seconds of clock time, parenthesized number, which shows that we were running everything in parallel. Quick preview to make sure this all says what I expect. 40 seconds, 40, 40, 30, 30, 30, 20. Okay, I think that really cleared that up, I hope. Okay, XUnit demo. You can go away demo project, and you can go away demo project. XUnit demo. What? Stop all MS build. Stop all.net. Yeah, of course that's going to kill PowerShell core. I always forget about that. That probably killed that one too. Good job. Good job, Brad. Repro. XU demo. It's better. Task manager, you can go away. Snipping tool, you can go away. Okay, security vulnerability, mono SSL package use in XUnit. On scanning of XUnit main branch security vulnerability, TLS stack in mono before 3.12.1 allows remote attackers to have unspecified impact via vectors SLv2 sideback. Seems the mono SSL library needs to be updated to 3.12. Raise an issue for the same. Okay. Let's make sure that copy this link. Okay, that looks good. We're going to mark this as accepted. Okay. How to specify a dynamic library path or other environmental parameters before test start? DYLD library path on both the unit test and run debug of SSL, but if I no switch into a test environment parameter before actually starts the test. I assume .NET test and which is vs_test, inherits the environment variables from the console that it was run from. So setting those environment variables in the console before launching vs_test, before launching .NET Test, should suffice. Either way, if you're using this is probably a question for the vs_test team. My Microsoft vs_test. Okay. I have a Mac around here somewhere that I could test this on, but obviously not this PC. Async tests hang when executed in parallel. The most common cause of hung async tests is inappropriate use of thread blocking task APIs like wait, get awaiter, get result, like wait, like result, wait, and task.wait all / task.wait any. One way to verify this is to turn off thread limitations. Music-wise, that was a weird transition. That's what I'm listening to today. Just flipped over from Evanescence to Foo Fighters. Basically just queued up everything that I've bought so far for 2021. So, Foo Fighters, Gojira, Greta Van Fleet, Lana Del Rey, Pentatonics, Rob Zombie, Soen, Steven Wilson. Hey, nobody can peg me on my musical tastes. Alright. This needs a configuration file value, which is max parallel threads. Okay, so by setting max parallel threads to -1, this causes hangs to go away, then you know you're creating the deadlock somewhere in your tests and or your production code. Okay. Is there a way to rerun the fail using .NET tests? This is a question for the vs_test team, since they control the execution behavior of .NET Test. Nothing better than pushing issues to someone else. Bye. Okay. In MS Test, we're able to create private objects and call the private methods by using .invoke. Nothing built in. Just you can do this with nothing built into XUnit. And we would never add a feature like this. you can do this with reflection built into the framework itself. Yadev64, stop doing evil. Alright. Fugate Gallery, that's for me to look at later. So these are things we don't need anymore. This is one I want to come back to. Look, everything is gray. I guess gray means I've interacted with it. Such a subtle change, though. I mean, watch my refresh it when they all go from black to gray. Black, gray. Okay. Let's go back to the full issue list. And look for things without tags. Because usually when I see something, I tag it. I might have looked at some of these already and decided not to deal with them yet. And I do watch email notifications from these, and sometimes answer the ones that feel like I could do it in 2 minutes. Okay. Alright, so let's label this as an analyzer help wanted bug. Okay. Right, I did look at this at one point, and I'm not gonna bother with that right now. Continue security analysis using GitHub CodeQL. CodeQL is free research and open. Oh yeah, same thing. I don't know why this person just sort of unilaterally said, here, use a bunch of my favorite tools. So, I'm not going to deal with it right now. Okay. Class fixture create multiple times when debugging. When I run all tests, my class fixture only gets created once. When I debug my test, my class fixture created multiple times. Tested class fixtures and collection fixtures, they have the same situation. Run all tests. I think I'm just going to label this as a bug. Don't know that I want to mark this as help wanted. And I'll come look at it another time. Reflector. Searching for enumerable 2 array, but it's not specific enough in terms of visibility arguments. If link ever gets another 2 array, multiples of proposes may break. Okay. This is fair. This is easy enough to fix right now. So this is reflector CS. What I need to be in even more whip. We're going to come back to that in a minute. All right, wake up, GPG. Sign that commit. Okay, very good. Get K open. First of all, are dev and main in the same place? They're not. Place a bulk by numeral with I read-only collection. Yeah, I'm okay with this being part of main. So let's go to main. Let's merge dev. That's a nice fast forward. Switch to dev. Let's go fix this bug. This is in reflector. Enumerable, cast, 2-array. Probably reasonable argument to be made to fix both of these. Yeah, maybe not. Cast. Definitely 2-array. So I want the one that takes I enumerable of t. That's really what it amounts to. Alright, let's do this like this. And we'll do this like this. Oh. Change it to single instead of first so it throws. Yeah, that would throw in a really weird place though. Maybe I shouldn't do that. Actually, first would throw in a really weird place too if for some reason I couldn't find one. Maybe I should use lazy for these. Oh. And generic arguments? No, I don't want generic arguments. Parameters. Get type is type of. I wonder if that's good enough. I mean, that is the. You assume that everything in here is going to be an extension on I enumerable of t. I mean, that is the purpose of this class. Get parameters. Generic type, so it's probably got to be this. Invalid operation not supported. Why would you return? Why would you throw those? Not a generic type. So I need to check to make sure it's a generic type. And it needs to be that. So that, and that, and that. And that. Decline phone call. Thank you. Is generic type. That is the right thing to check. Okay. So that'll be a fix for that. You know, after I did all this, I didn't even bother to look to see if he had sent up a PR. He did not. Okay. So this is a fix for 2275. Fix for 2275. I'll go ahead and let that build. Make sure we didn't break anything. Don't know why we would have. Analyzers should disallow execute attributes on local functions. It's not valid for executing like fact and theory on local functions, so perhaps the analyzer should report. Okay. Analyzers, help wanted, feature. Test and nested classes aren't shown by codelens. Don't know how this could be our bug. Actually, these check marks. We don't own codelens. This should be opened against Visual Studio. Label external. I'll leave it open for now, but next pass I'll probably get rid of it. Useless to also support matrix theory data like below. Hmm. Hmm. Mark as a discussion because I really don't know how I feel about this one. Not sure how I feel about it. Okay. Skip ignored when empty reason provided. Hmm. Good catch. This should... This shouldn't run. I'm not sure whether it should reject the test or provide an empty message like no skip message provided. But that is a core framework bug. Boarding test run due to builders, yet none exist. There's several tests with reference to another project. Using CSV helper in that project may be the issue. Please provide a repro project. Thanks. Mono Cecil. Well, that's interesting. Sequence contain no elements. Oh yeah, you can hear the music. It's kind of silly for me to... Alright. Okay, well, which part didn't work? Okay, so that part works. I really don't understand why the cancel doesn't actually cancel. That's another problem for another day. So, how about now? Let's do .NET Run src xunit v3 assert tests. .NET 472. Mm-hmm. So you're telling me alright, this 2 array definitely has one parameter. We're not doing enumerable of t. Aha. It's because we're not doing enumerable of t. Oh, this isn't of t. The method is of t. Class isn't of t. Never mind. That should work, right? That was slightly backwards. It's not a generic type definition. It's value indicating where the current type represents a type parameter in the definition. It's not that. It is a generic type. Should just be a straight up generic type, though. How is that not a generic type? Parameter type. Oh my god, I'm using get type and not parameter type. Holy dummy. Holy dummy. Okay. Although I'm going to go ahead and copy that, comment that out one else at the moment. Okay. Which then means get generic type definition. Right. Says generic type now returning true. Okay. So this makes me want to do this up here as well. Alright, because you're going to cast interval cast this t result. Yeah, this is any source. Any source. So this is not the same thing. It's actually enumerable. Yeah, no. Okay, one more time. Okay, keep running. Monosussal. Yeah. Ruben, ask any important question. There is no particular urgency. It is not shipped anywhere yet. So, core framework, type security, how we doing over here? Things are running. Okay, property returning this causes Stack Overflow. Inject a record type having a property returning this causes Stack Overflow. Test this process and Stack Overflow. Okay. Yep, that's a bug. Swap record for class, there's no problem. If autofixture, no problem, so autofixture is not the source. Yeah, this is going to be observer test. Test record print map. I have no idea what observer test print members is. ToString. Print members must come from the record. Alright, this comes from our default parameter rendering, which when ToString is overridden, as seems to be the case for records, we ask the class to render itself using ToString. It appears the bug may actually be in the implementation of records in C# 9 and their default ToString implementation having an infinite loop. ToString, ToString, ToString. I suggest this is probably a bug suited for the .NET team rather than us. Yeah. I mean, looking at this stack trace, like, we're not the ones who are looping. The auto-generated code for print members is who's looping. So, you're external. You're not us. Biggest match found with class date and decimal type. Could not find MS build XE on the system path. That's fair. I didn't have MS build on the path. Let's just do this for V3. Oh, yeah, we don't even support V3. So that doesn't even matter. Never mind. Okay, so there's this. Let's push that. Vector. Copy permalink. That should give us a nice... Okay. Okay. Let's go to main. Let's merge dev. Push that all up. Okay, back here. Back here. Okay. Biggest match class data and decimal type. Probably at 1771, if not duplicate. Well, let's go look at 1771. X unit decimal endpoint are uncommon in test case. Ambiguous match found, so... Is this a PR? This must be a PR. Huh. Max commented on test cases. Oh, no. This is just a reference. Okay. Up to 241, error fails started. I'll leave this open. Okay. Labels. This is a core framework bug. Consider checking collection definition class not in the same assembly as test class. Fixtures can be in a shared assembly, but the iCollection fixture... yeah. Oh, this diagram is pointing me this tiny note at the foot of shared context. Tiny note! Tiny note! Yeah, okay. Alright, so you are analyzers, feature, help wanted. You just flipped to Gogeta? I feel like we did. We did. Excuse me. Whew. Okay. Assuming new package native libraries. We're here again? I guess that means we hit everything that I wanted to hit. Everything's got labels except for these security ones. Who is Alex Ivanov? No, who are you? Who are you? Pipeline Foundation. So what, you're just wandering around open source projects, opening issues? Why would this require 30 commits and 11 files changed? Yeah, once again, I'm not going to deal with that today. I am kind of curious about this one. Alright, PRs. Sort collection fix. Don't remember where I was in the big scheme of these, but this one is marked investigating. Yeah, we'll take a look at that. These are old. I think these are too old to merge. I think I'm going to just end up removing them, but we'll see. Collection fixed. Oh, these are all the single changes. Okay, so why don't these run? Why are these all failing? 2230. We don't do this as a... Yeah, right. Do it like this. Git PR 2230. All right. I mean, the fact that everybody just fails all over the place and not after a very long period of time, it's not a good sign. Yeah. Okay, well, if you want to have a PR and you're failing, maybe you should pay attention to the fact you're failing. Apparently never ran the build script locally. It's not a good way to start your contribution history. Showing bad reading comprehension. All right. Add more fixes to this branch. 5 commits. What are your 5 commits? Okay, it looks like all the tests are going to pass. That's good enough for me. All right. That's a weird one, right? Okay, merge origin main. Probably don't actually have an actual remote for this, right? Right. Oh, I should have done it with this. You know what? I have this GitHub command line tool, right? GH. Thought I did. I probably have it over here, don't I? Yeah. That's as good a time as any to put it on Windows. See if this will make my life easier. Winget, Scoop, Chocolatey, and as an MSI. Yeah, I don't use any of those other things. So. Windows, AMD, 64, MSI. You slow. Why are you so slow? Yes. Alright. Is it on my path now? Or am I going to have to restart? Okay. It's not even on my path. If you're not on my path, what did you do to yourself? Must. Interesting, you put yourself into 32-bit program files, even though you're a 64-bit executable. Okay. Environment variables. Where are you at, environment variables? Advanced system settings? Yeah, okay. Path? It is there. Oh, yeah, okay. I know. Terminal itself has to go away because the environment variables that are being inherited are the ones from Windows Terminal. GH? Alright. GitHub.com. Yeah. Here's the real question. You gonna get mad if I try and do something like this? I haven't done anything here I actually care about, so let me switch to main. Alright, I have no extra remotes. Okay. GHPR checkout 2230. GHauth login. HTTPS. I'm going to paste an authentication token. I'm going to go grab my authentication token off screen. Because you don't need to see that. That would be very bad if you saw that. In my opinion. Okay, back up here we go. Alright. Let's go PR checkout 2230. So you didn't give me a remote when you did that, did you? Okay. GHPR checkout. Okay. GHPR. So you're not really doing much better than what I was doing. See, I was hoping you would go up and get a remote for me. Alright. Let's see. You at least gave me this name, but you missed this part. PR 2230. Right, you missed that part. And then get branch U PR 2230. I think it's going to be PR 3230. Sort collection fixed. Oh, I need to fetch that first too, don't I? Get fetch PR 2230. Get sort collection fix. So let's see. Get branch set upstream PR 2230 assert collection fix to assert collection fix. That's what I wanted. Okay. Now, .NET format. Okay. Fix formatting. Merge origin main. Okay. Let's make sure this builds now. Stretch. Man. Okay, while you're building. Backport, fixed console colors, concurrency handling. Okay, yeah. Wait for exit async extension method for process. Alright, so this has got a bunch of conflicts. I'll have to come back to that later. That's why it's failing. Yeah, no. Comparisons markdown? Show support for data-driven tests called theories. That's a true typo. Thanks. Squash and merge. Okay. Yeah. Another typo. Another thanks. Lots of typos, huh? One PR per file. Multiple command roles of the same command line options can be used to configure the parallelism option. Okay, yep. Legit just typing different than what my brain thinks. Shared context. So among tests and several test classes. Yep, both of those are legit typos too. I don't know why I'm surprised. All legit typos. Suppose class data is fun. Okay, so this has not had any further work done on it yet. Consuming a NuGet package with native libraries. There we are again. Back to discussions. So this... Alright, well. That was my bad, but that should be fine. So I'm going to go ahead and push that up. Switch back to main. X. Okay. Alright. That seems better. Okay. Cert PRs. How did assert distinct from 2019? Nope. Not today. Alright. There we go. Yeah. So, an hour and a half doing that. I guess that's why you're supposed to do it more often than every 2 months, right? Okay. Let's pull. Dev should merge main. Nice fast forward. And then you can get pushed. And then let's I can get rid of assert collection fix. Remote, remove, PR 2230. Okay. Let's go to V3T speedrunner. Three bases on top of dev. Let's see how bad that is. Font should probably be bigger for you guys for this. Let me fix that. Let's see. Default text. Compare colors. Merge colors. File views. Oh, that's folder views, yeah. Default text. Let's do 12 and 11 and 12. There we go, that's a little bit better. Okay. So where's our conflict? So I basically need to go through this one. Looks like there's these two assert singles that need to be resolved. So I will take the right-hand side. This is TDNet runner tests. TDNet runner tests. Let's make sure every time we have a assert collection, we have at least two things. Why? Yeah, okay. Let's make sure here. Looking for the removed singles. So that was here in let's just do this with diff tool. Git diff tool. Where did you go? Help. Did you go here? Okay. Do we have cached? Is that what we're supposed to do? There's no a diff tool for cached, is there? Alright. Other window, go away. So if I do that, and I do diff tool, now you should show me the diff. So on the left side, so we had with type under run member. Run member with type. That's the replacement there, and that's a dual now. And then run member with method. That's the other one that got singled. And that's a dual now. Yeah, I think in a lot of these cases I ended up having more messages here, and so the single changes are unnecessary. Let's make sure this still builds. I don't have any reason to think it wouldn't. Go. Okay. Let's make sure these things build. We have a lot of whip, more whip, even more whip. This is kind of where we are. It'd be worth taking a peek at what's been going on, or I don't know what went on in January and March, since that's basically the last time I've actually done anything with any of this. Let's make sure these tests are going to run. Alright, well, I need another Coke, so I will be right back. Test still running. Okay. For Greta Van Fleet. And then here's our MS Build Runner. Okay, so these tests are all working again, which is good. I think I want to push these up. Alright, when was the last time I pushed up? Yeah, I think I can safely push these up. I have them separated into 3 commits anyway, right? It's going to have to be a force push, of course. Okay. So, where were we? Fixing buffer TCP client tests. Yeah, TCP engine tests. TCP engine state. Buffer TCP client. Diagnostic message sync now. And a client ID. Just trying to raise exceptions during disposal. Apparently we're not going to keep those faults anymore because we throw them into diagnostic message sync. Abnormal termination of pipe reader. So the interesting thing is going to be we are still using tools builder. So test Right. So trying to run this with the console test runner. That's kind of where we are. Let's make sure we're built. Alright, XUnit, let's see. XUnit v3 runner console v3 source. XUnit v3 runner console bin. We just built release, right? Not 472. Okay. You should be able to run v3 assert test bin release net 472. You should be able to run that, right? Okay. So we definitely have Unicode issues, which I don't really understand. But I think I can skip those for the moment. Argument formatter tests. D800, D800, DC100, DC-D8. Those are the three, huh? I don't have a real good skip here. Why do we have dupes anyway? This is weird, right? Why do we have this? Why can't these be here? Huh? I think if I have these here. So if that's these four, then I'll put those like that. Okay. If I build here, it's going to do debug and not release. That's fine. Debug. Debug. Should still get failures, right? Okay. Now I can put skips on them. It is interesting to me that It's only broken. I get different results. Alright, if I don't skip these. Go away. Oh, they're broken here now, too. That's weird. Why are they broken as inline data, but they weren't broken as member data? Why are they broken as inline data, but not... Oh, I want to put a different message on here. Alright. So if I run that standalone, it works. If I run it there, it's broken. What's interesting is the values show up properly here now where they didn't before. So there's definitely something different about member data that wasn't showing up appropriately with inline data, which is very strange. Broken with external runner, and also when moved to inline data. That's so weird though. So now you're just skipped, right? Okay, fine. So let's do build. Can I convert from binary numeral string to string array? That's fine. Alright, so this is TestFX console. Just copy that. I don't know why I'm not pasting it. Or I didn't. Yay, parallelism. See, there's more strings that are messed up. Why? Why? What's weird about the way I'm launching these things that these things don't work? I really do need someone's help with this. To understand exactly what's going on here. What are you? I'm reluctant to just sort of, disable all these things because they're important. But it is kind of stopping me from making progress. Yeah, what's weird about me launching the executable? So what's different here is, let me just roll everybody up. So what's different here is so implementing this class to run v3 tests by launching executables. So we launch it with a port. So we start our engine, which gives us a random port. We launch it with the port. Create no window true, error dialog false, file name, use shell execute true, window style hidden. What if I take those things away? Does that make a difference? I need to go uncomment that skip. Or comment the skip, sorry. What I meant to say. Okay, so it doesn't have anything to do with any of that stuff. Domain, don't care. Environment variables, if I wanted to override. Load user profile, true or false. Redirect, verbs, working directory. Oh, I just can't. Is this a coding problem? UTF-8? Standard error encoding is only supported when standard error is redirected. Redirect standard error is true. Redirect standard output is true. Process object must have the use of shell execute process set to false in order to redirect IO streams. Okay. Actually, I'll just comment it out. Must you have used shell execute? Oh, it's not false by default, apparently. So if it's not false by default, maybe I don't need this. Maybe I just need to turn off shell execute. Right now window, default is false. Error dialog, default is false. Okay. Use shell execute is true by default. So that needs to be false. Create no windows, false by default needs to be true. Default is normal. Maybe the problem is shell execute. Alright, well, it's not shell execute, but at least I should be able to do this now. Yeah. Nope. Didn't think any of that was going to matter, but default is false for load user profile, huh? So I don't need any of that. Nope. Sort of run out of things that might be under my control. I really don't know what the problem is here. Alright, let's do a silly thing. It's not going to do what I expect, but it is going to pop a window. That should just run the tests. That window that popped, those tests ran fine. Right. If I do a wait, runs without fail. So it's not the launching of the process that is the problem. It's something about the TCP server that is the problem. So what are we doing here? What are we doing here? Alright, so I don't need you. You can be that. That's fine. So if I go to console runner, so you're using the front controller, right? So you don't even know. If I just tell you to run, you call execute assembly for each. And execute assembly should at some point be making a front controller. There we go. For discovery and execution. Find and run settings. Find and run. So if I go look for find and run here, you basically just do a run. So right now, run doesn't take any of the filtering stuff, which is fine. We weren't passing filters anyway. So TCP execution engine. On run. Calls execute for the operation ID. So it's definitely doing discovery. And then filtering and then execution. How does that differ from the inline console runner? In proc console runner, sorry. So you do discovery here. Discover, filter, and execute. So test framework at discovery, at discover. Don't care about this message. Discover find, discover sync, finished, wait one, finished, wait one. Right? That is this. This is this. Sure, I copied this code. Don't care about the message. Alright, don't care about this message either. So we're going to have this. This is going to be this. So we have engine execution sync. This is the replacement for our reporter message handler. Alright, this just sends the messages back to the other side. Delegating execution summary sync. We don't do XML over here, so we don't do that one. We do have long-running tests. We do have fail skips. Results sync, there's the executor. Run tests, wait one. You send a message, which I don't care about, and then we have this. Stop on failing. Sounds like do a test failure. Sure. So all looks exactly the same. I do not know why this is failing. And I don't know what to do about it either. Maybe this is why I stopped streaming. 2 months ago, I didn't know what the hell this problem was. 2 months later, I still don't know what the hell this problem is. Now I'm wondering what I want to do. This is obviously the big thing that needs to be done. How do I get someone to help me with this? What if... So I need execution options. Oh, do I? Run all. Okay. So I need discovery options, I need execution options. Don't care about that right now. So is this fundamentally a problem of discovery? Oh, build failure? Where? Okay, what's going on here? So there's runner console. I don't see that it has necessarily launched my tests. Why not? That's here. No, that's here. Sorry. There's my TCP port. Let's not hide you. Let's see what happens if we don't hide you. You just like start and go away. You still run like this. Diagnostic messages. Internal diagnostic messages. And what the hell, we'll throw a weight on there just for fun. What is happening? It literally just starts and dies. Just starts and dies. Launching. Start info. File name. Start info. Arguments. I suppose I can turn on diagnostic messages, internal diagnostic messages. just in case. Okay. It's diagnostics and internal diagnostics. Well, this is probably not helping. So we launched that. Can I specify weight when using TCP? Fine. I'm gonna read data. I clearly did something wrong over here. Don't think this matters here. Executor run all. So it does an internal discover. As before I was doing a run, which is taking serialized test cases and running them. Deserializing them and then running them. That's clearly one big difference, right? Serialization. So is the serialization of the test case failing because that string isn't valid anymore? Certainly seems like that's going to be the case, isn't it? But I'm curious to know why doing less over here Doesn't work. Why doesn't this work? Alright. So we're listening. We launch. We start. Connection accepted. Went from listening to negotiating to connected. Abnormal termination of pipe reader. Unable to read data. So here's the interesting one. Standard output would be a stream reader. Standard error would also be a stream reader. Let's see, what's the easiest way to read one of these? Read to end async? Read to end will just give me a string, huh? Console, write line. Standard out. Console, write. Standard out? I guess write line, I guess. Console, write line, standard error. Is there anything going on over there that we can learn from? Use shell execute false for IO streams. Right. You can go back to hidden, that's fine. Showing you isn't going to be useful. Of course, we're not going to have... Can't see the standard output because it hasn't stopped running yet. Buffer TCP client, abnormal termination of pipe reader. So this is buffer TCP client 120, huh? Buffer TCP client. That was weird. I don't know what line number I was trying to get to. Okay. So who is listening to this? So that's in start. So because this is a base class, it doesn't know when it's done. Unless I give it a property, it'd be checked for faulted. So who's using this? Like if we go into the runner engine, and we say here's our client. On info, on message. Send cancel, send find, send quit. How do we know when we're done? So that's our runner engine. We runner engine start. Hmm. General front controllers just have find, find, and run, run. You don't know when you're done with them. So the execution engine is basically sitting here waiting for commands like run and quit. Shutdown requested as a task completion source. Wait for quit. So that's on the execution side. And we need some way to indicate that catastrophic failure has happened and the pipeline is not trustworthy anymore. Thinking about this in terms of the execution side, that's not the right side to think about it, right? It used to be the runner side. So our references to the runner engine. I don't care about tests. I don't care about that, or that, or that. I don't care about the runner engine itself. I don't care about execution engine. So basically, it's just this. Because XUnit 3 is a front controller, it never communicates failure. Never communicates failure. What is the best way to do that? Like, I should have a message I could send. Which should be up here, probably. Don't really have a message. I mean, we could send finished, which just is summary information. So what we need is we need an event on the client to say that the client has faulted. When it raises that event, the runner engine would say, okay, well, we faulted. Should we just send a finished event, a finished message in that case? All right. Okay. Event handler is still a thing, right? Method that will handle an event that has no data. Unabnormal termination. The raw program has crashed or severely faulted. Non-nullable on abnormal termination must contain a non-null value. Consider declaring the property as null. No? This can't possibly be the way you're supposed to be doing this. My mind just left my head. I don't know how this is supposed to work anymore. C# 9 async event. Public event. Event handler of T. Let's have both add and remove accessors. Or None of the above? Okay. Common pattern for delegates. Basically just saying use a delegate. I'm okay with that. Okay. So given that our render engine, when it makes this thing, where is our buffered client getting constructed? Down here. Don't have a message sync to send this on. Which makes sense because actually doesn't. Should be on message, right? Message dispatcher. Sync message. So request ID and the deserialized message. Doesn't really have an association with a request though. Interesting transition. From Greta Van Fleet to Lana Del Rey. So we have a message sync list based on operation IDs. We try and dispatch this to the correct operation ID. This is why we can't test assembly finished, because what's the assembly we associate it with? So when we say run, we enlist the operation ID. We don't keep a list of operation IDs here though, do we? We send it to the other side and we expect all the messages to come back with that operation ID? Oh man. So like when we say find and run, we just generate an operation ID. Question is, should we have a special operation ID, which basically says fault? In which case we'd want to send it to every operation. Actually, those are my message syncs, right? Let's call this a broadcast instead of a fault. Problem is I don't really know how to fill all this information out. Hmm. We just have a straight up error message. An exception. Is this used as a base class in other places? Hmm. I don't know how that's helpful though. So I need to raise. Need to raise the notion that the thing is faulted. Hmm. I don't feel like I have a good grasp on exactly what the right answer for this is. And I feel like I want to think about it. Yeah, I need a break. It's like a fundamental design problem, really. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Now I remember why I stopped working on this. At least I understand why. Well, I don't understand why. Let me take that back. I don't understand why we're getting the Unicode errors, but we're definitely, at the moment, throwing, which is bad, and unveils the fact that like error handling in the system isn't good enough yet. In particular, I need to find a way to communicate up through front controller to basically say this thing had a fault. Right, it's broken. Yeah. Which is definitely, yeah. All right. Well, anyway, thanks for hanging out with me today. Not sure exactly what my next step on this is going to be. I'm gonna go grab some lunch, some light lunch. Um, give this some thought. If I decide to dive back in, I might start streaming again, but I'm not sure what I'm gonna do yet on this one. Anyway, thanks for hanging out. Hopefully this will become a regular thing again. And so if that's the truth, then maybe I'll see you next week. See you next time for sure.